This synergy is incredibly impressive around Iron Fist. Yes, I said that. Impressive and Iron Fist in the same sentence. What have I been smoking? Well, it's synergies. Super Skrull has this amazing little synergy, but it's part of a bigger picture of better synergies. So Iron Fist with Super Skrull gets 4 personal armor breaks at the start of the fight, and then they are paused right at the start. And this helps out because you can start nullifying, yes, nullifying buffs that are arising. Essentially, this is like armor breaks acting as a stagger, so to speak. I'm going to showcase some footage in a moment of that going up against the likes of Juggernaut and how this is actually more effective than you might think. The same thing with some nodes in 7.2 and the interaction with that and how it's, again, effective for the counter. Excuse me. But when it comes to like further synergies, especially with Nova, this helps out a lot with full speed head right down at the bottom. Medium attacks gain a plus 5% chance for each armor break debuff on the opponent to inflict a stun debuff for 1.5%. Man, this is where things get incredibly tasty because you kind of put in your growth of those armor breaks, the consistent build as well with the other synergies that you've got. You are finding you are applying armor breaks quickly. You are effectively going into a perma stun, not 100% perma stun, but as well you are putting a more consistent chaining from one load of attack, so that your 5-hit combo chaining into with a stun in tow, to then go into another 5, to then go into a further 5, a further 5, a further 5, a further 5, and it just continues on until the point where you're just effectively perma-stunning for at least 100 hits, and say you need a further, I don't know, 20 more. This is with using a 565 version and a 200 signature, but yeah, like, it is a lot of fun. Let's roll the footage. Here we go, starting off with a Captain Marvel fight. Man, this is it. This is the tasty stuff here. So first of all, we get the first, we get the parry, and then it's a case of like hitting in. As we are building more armor breaks more consistently, you'll see that stun. See, look at that, it's just there. It's so nice. And even 12k, 16k with the SP2. Most of the time I'm throwing SP2 attacks because it's just ramping up the damage. 2 4k hits there. Look, you know, are you going to see some like game-breaking damage here? Possibly not. Would a 6-star deliver more? Of course it would. I didn't have access to a 6-star version of this. But man, just look at this ripping and tearing. If I had this on Suicides, I'm sure I'd be able to do a lot more damage than this. But still, the way the armor break is building up, the volume of armor breaks being built up as well, especially the SP2. It's nice. It is nice. It's nice damage. I'm not saying this is the most impressive thing in the world. I'm just merely pointing out the fact that this is cheesy as anything. Now, this is just a Captain Marvel fight. We've got class advantage, so our damage is going to be ramped up more. And then we're going to go over to the Juggernaut fight in a minute. But you just see this armor break is just nice. This really showcases the class advantage and the attacking kind of prowess and bonus you can have. Did I just do a 2k first part of the SP2? That's very, very nice. But look, you know, it's going to be over in a moment. We need to see a full test of the buff in motion. Now, first of all, Juggernaut started off with no unstoppable. I think that's the thing. I can't remember if that is indeed a thing. But look, he generated a Fury buff at that time. I didn't think the armor break was up to suppress it, but there you go. It was staggered, which is kind of like, it's kind of weird because the armor break, as I said, it's meant to nullify. So it should come out of nullify, but it's coming out with staggered. So and it is what it is. It's still fun. Look at this. The ramp up, man. It's just the ramp up is so nice. And especially at times where you're facing off against various champions that cast buffs. We're going to have an example of that in a minute in 7.2. Just to showcase how, to the extent of the buff suppression, which look, this champion does do. Not to say that it's in basic kit of the champion, you are able to suppress. Is it Fury, Cruelty, and one other? I need to double check that whilst this plays out. But yeah, you just look at this Juggernaut fight, and it's providing an example of a counter to Juggernaut's Unstoppable, where, you know, before it'd be like, okay. It says with a heavy attack, the Iron Fist delivers a powerful chi strike, disrupting the flow of energy, nullifying one Cruelty, Fury, and Precision buff. But you know, this works. I've seen plenty of people use this against the champion 6.2. So whether or not that is something to, again, suppress by the meaning of armor break, or they indeed were using various different types of synergy things and stuff. But man, it's just impressive for the extent of like what this synergy does and how fun it is with having Super Skrull. And that's really the main point of this video, is showcasing like it's fun. It creates a fun champion around this singular synergy. Is it something you could use in to 100% Realm of Legends? Yeah, of course you can. Do I think this is going to be good for any other practical content? Kind of, but it's just down to a team selection. Now, the team selection will have some good champions spread, especially because there's actually a few good ones in the team. Kingpin, Nova's kind of alright, and then you've got SheHulk and Super Skrull. So some good champions there. So I decided to rotate the champion around in Abyss, but mainly to kind of find out, could I keep the enemy champions suppressed with a perma stun? And the answer is no. That's the thing. Like, the champions will build up to the SP3. I'm hitting in through there. The stun's up. Again, same thing. Hitting with a stun. I thought to myself, very confident here, and then the stuns go away and I actually get killed with the SP3. Not going to show you that animation because I just thought we'll cut it there. But it's just not practical for everything. This is in 7.2 and then showcases that I think the precision built and as well the fury being built helps out with being suppressed and armor up as well. All those buffs are being suppressed and staggered back with that armor break, and allowing that Super Skrull synergy means that I've got it more consecutively on and consistently on, as opposed to throwing the heavy attack, which would have been like a better option to do to suppress stuff. It just works out better to be working towards just constantly keeping my hits up and concentrating on making hits as opposed to like concentrating on anything else, because I'm suppressing stuff. Not just then, that was not me suppressing a buff, but still, apart from that, it's just showcasing we can suppress. Iron Fist can be good, and there is a team around it that can be pretty consistent for it. And I'm sure that if there's content coming around that requires a team like this that can deal with certain situations, then of course I'd say, look, you know, just do it because it's a fun part of the synergy. Apart from that, look, it's not the champion that's going to help you out in every single bit of content. But I enjoyed this nevertheless, and we'll just cut it there because I think you guys get the gist of things with this. So there we go, that's been the scheme of the video, what this Super Skrull synergy does to Iron Fist. And I like the way that it allows those armor break debuffs to be paused, which helps out to the interaction side of things with other synergies that he has, and as well the suppression of buffs, but also the extent of how that helps that stunning effect that comes from the Nova synergy. So how that really works with keeping those armor breaks on that aren't expiring quickly, but also ramping up the extent of stun damage, or stun consistency, sorry I should say, stun consistency, and keeping the enemy sort of perma-stunned. It massively helps out, and you saw in some interactions we're building up to like 10 armor breaks and keeping that consistently growing and as well stunning as well. Very, very fun, and I just thought I'd showcase this very fun synergy for you to go and check out. Thank you very much for watching this video. Check out some recent content posted up there, and I'll see you all very soon. Chatty byes for now.